Welcome back to the Deacon Hoover Radio Network. This is Adam. And always with me is the Deacon of Real Estate, Alex Deacon. What's going on, Alex?
Adam, it's a pleasure as always. It's a beautiful day, and I'm ready to talk about how we can retire in 10 years, get started now while working a full-time job.
I like this 10-year plan you have set up here. Let's talk about this.
That's my 10-year plan, but I'm going on year 25.
Yeah,
I'm teaching something that I haven't even followed.
Well, when you love it, though, right?
Yes.
There you go.
You know what they say, when you teach, you actually learn. And by doing these sessions and doing the investor workshops that I have, I actually do learn something. Because you're sticking to the fundamentals, but it's so easy to get sidetracked and to get off on a tangent, the next shiny thing, and just easy way out. There is no easy way out. So when I say retire in 10 years, get started now, it doesn't have to be 10 years. It can be 5 years. Your goal can be 25 years. But it can be done. It can be done with lower stress levels, and it doesn't have to be like balls out, I'm going 120 miles an hour, and if it doesn't work, my life implodes. No, we want to keep a controlled pace, and if you want to get from A to Z, which A is working and Z would be, I guess, retirement, or at least being financially independent where you don't have to go to work every day.
Right.
That's what I want to try to teach you in this short version of
We like that. We like that. Let's get started then. So while you're still working, this full-time job, how do you get started in this whole process?
All right, how do you get started? So how I got started was when I started investing in real estate, I was an auto mechanic.
Okay.
So I was next to a guy working on his bay and his cars, and I'm working on my cars, and he's talking about real estate all the time, and I just got interested in that one. I was like, whoa, this dude's buying real estate. I'm 26 years old. This is cool. So I bought my first investment. One thing led to another. I was still working a full-time job. I got my real estate license, and it just all went from there. Now I'm 50 years old, 24 years or 26 years later-ish. I'm still doing this.
Wow.
Selling real estate. We're managing real estate for other clients and our own stuff. And we're flipping properties, and it's a beautiful thing. But you don't have to take it that far. You could take it 10 times further than I've taken it, or you can just keep it to where my goal, this will be you talking to yourself, my goal is to own 5 houses in the next 5 years. Or my goal is to own 10 houses that equal $1 million to $1.5 million in value and have them paid off in 20 years. Then you can set up a game plan and absolutely reach that point.
Okay.
Because no one else is going to set up your retirement for you. It just doesn't, not that I know of, does not exist anymore. You just don't go to a job and work there for 40 years and then retire. Or 20 years. And
Not in today's world, no.
Yeah.
No,
So
our parents'
you're on your own.
generation, yes, but nope.
So how do you get started? It's, as always, you're educating yourself. You're listening to things like this. You're reading books. You are going and spending time with other investors at some investor groups and come to some of my investor workshops and things like that. You just you just absorb this by being around people who are doing it, right?
Right.
And so your first step is you gather information, right? You just don't jump into it. You got to gather some information. Educate and gather information. That's number one. So the second step would be, at some point, you can only gather so much information before you have to make you have to take action. Right? Because you always hear that information is king, right? Information is power.
Knowledge is
right?
power. Yeah.
It is, but it's only powerful if you put it into action. That's why we talk about procrastination on other sessions. That you could be the smartest man on the planet, but if you don't take action, or you procrastinate, or smartest woman on the planet, smartest person on the planet, if you procrastinate, you're not going to make it. So it's a bad habit. So you can't procrastinate. So gather information, and at some point put some sort of business plan together, and then implement it. So what does that business plan look like, Adam? I'm going to ask you.
So if I had a personal business plan?
Yeah, what would your investment business plan look like off the cuff right now in 30 seconds or less?
Off the cuff right now, personal goals, like where I'd want to be, where I'm ending up.
Real estate. We're talking real estate.
Talking real estate.
I'm throwing one at you, curveball.
I was going to say,
you gotta hit this.
I was going to say, I'd want to be in and out of the game probably. All right, so I'm 38. I'd want to be in and out of the game by the time I'm 50. Okay. So I'd want to be comfortable to where I'd obviously still want to work, but I would be able to call my own shots, so to speak.
Yeah, there you go. So you just came up with a framework of your business model, your business plan. 12 years.
Yep.
Okay, it's a 12-year business plan.
And I give myself the 2-year buffer just because I'm a father, so that's why.
And business plans change, and plans were meant to change, but you got to get something down in writing, or at least have it embedded into your brain that this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to get there. So you got to you have to think about this a lot. This is something you're going to have to invest time and thinking. Sometimes too much thinking, almost to be obsessed about it. To be honest with you. I tell my kids who, my children work with me, and my son-in-law works with me, my wife works with me. I tell them that the businesses that I own, and you have to treat those businesses like a 6-month-old child that never grows up.
Yep.
It's relentless. It's like a 6-month-old colicky baby that freaking craps his pants 6 days a week. It's nonstop. It's just how hard it is. So I mean, it's not going to be easy. But if you want it, the easier it is, it will become easier as you grow and learn about it. Of course, okay. But what you need to understand is you don't have to take it to some massive level. You don't have to own thousands of properties. You can make it easier on yourself, know your limitations, know what stress you can handle in your life and can't, and dive into this, but do it at a slow pace. Buy that first investment so it's simple, it's easy in, easy out. If I don't like it, I can get out of it. Keep the first one, the risk to a minimum, the stress level to a minimum.
This is when we always want to work hard, but we want to work smarter than harder.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Yep.
You'll be patient. But here's the funny thing. You have to be patient, right? You hear it all the time. Of course you have to be patient. Then, on the other side, those who hesitate, they lose. So it's like opposing, opinion. I'm giving you opposing methods to do this.
Right.
So it's balance, man. You have to be constantly striving for more. But then you have to enjoy too, and take a step back and enjoy your daughter, like you said,
right?
And enjoy your family. So it's a tough act to navigate through. But you get started by educating yourself, to business plan, get that embedded into your head, know exactly what you want to do. Know that you're going to be flexible in that business plan, because that's going to change. You might find you really like this business and you want to expand on it. You might find that, I don't want to own 20 homes by the time I'm 50. I only want to own 10 because I don't like it that much. Okay? Focus on the most important activities. So what are those activities? What do you think one of the most important activities would be for a real estate investor?
Keeping up with finances.
That's really super important, right? But if you don't have a house, then there are no finances to talk about. So you have no investments, right? Gotcha. But that's something you really need to go and do and know, and I'm really bad at it. But don't ever forget to look at your books, like all the time. Look at your bank account, yada, yada, yada. Know what's going in and what's going out. But the most important thing for any business owner, including a real estate entrepreneur, is generating leads, is finding the houses. If you can't find the houses and the good deals, then you're dead in the water. So that's the most important activity. Devote 80% of your time in investing in real estate, finding the deals.
Okay. And like we always say, you'll start to understand what the better deals are with time, with patience, with experience.
Yeah, a good deal when you're first starting out, in 5 years will be like, I can't believe I thought that was a good deal.
Right.
Yeah,
but those are the learning lessons that you want, though.
Sure.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people think that's a step back, or
there's no other way to learn, my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, you just have to get out there and make those mistakes. But you have to, at some point, get out there and do it. So technology, you need to embrace it. Like, I'm 50, so technology to me is like not the most comfortable thing, but I know I can use the internet, and I can use email, and I can use Google, like Google Earth and Maps, which is tremendous, and get to know how to use 2 or 3 different websites that are going to help you tremendously, and really get good at those, because we talked about this in a whole session about how to get rich at home in your pajamas, doing a desktop analysis.
Yeah.
So important to embrace technology. You don't have to be a tech whiz, because I can't even change the signature on my email. I had to have somebody help me do that the other day. But you know what tools you need in your tool belt, and those 4 or 5 tools that are 80% of your time that you're going to spend is going to be finding real estate and finding the deals. Master those tools. Master that technology part of it.
Gotcha.
So technology is critical. We talked about procrastination. Now here's a question. It's opposite of what we just talked about procrastination. Is when is it a good thing in real estate? So when is procrastination a good thing in real estate? What do you think that would be the answer to that one?
You know what? I mean, this is something we touched upon in a different session, but for example, when we did to evict or not to evict. Wintertime, maybe it's better to procrastinate the eviction process until after winter, just because of the
You're starting to scare me, because you're actually learning.
That's right. I know.
That's really good. Sometimes some of the best deals that I've made are the deals I've walked away from. Because they were so bad that if I would have invested in them, I would have lost a lot of money. So some of the best deals, again, I've just had to think about. Let me think about this one overnight or for a couple days. Okay? So sometimes procrastinating is a good thing. Here's the bad part about procrastinating. In a lot of cases, it's a really bad thing, because when those good deals come around, they don't last.
Right.
So you have not even minutes to spare.
It's one of those you snooze, you lose kind of scenarios.
Yeah, so it's like, well, should I jump on the first good deal? Yes. Or should I think about it overnight? Yes. So it's very difficult. So that will come over years and years of experience, knowing what a good deal looks like and what it isn't, and staying within your box. Staying within that. This is what I'm buying: single family homes in this area, in this price range. Or I'm gonna buy commercial real estate. I'm gonna develop real estate. I'm going to build townhomes. I'm going to build condos. I'm going to buy raw land and wait for it to go up in value. You can't do all that.
Right.
Some rich guy who has billions of dollars will do that, and then they'll fail because they're not focused. You have to focus whether you have $10 in the bank or $10 billion in the bank. It's just as easy to lose both.
Right. That is true. That is true.
So does that... I don't know if that tells everybody how to retire in 10 years, but we'll do a longer version of it, because I think by doing a lot of these shorter versions, and even the long ones, it helps, and it hurts the person listening, because they're thinking, well, I'm going to listen to this 6-minute session and I'm going to learn how to retire in 10 years. But all it does is creates more questions.
Right.
Well, he said to procrastinate, but then he said don't procrastinate. And he said to act quickly, but take your time. He said so what I'm saying is, I don't know what I'm saying.
I think what you're saying is real estate is an investment can be tricky. It's one of those where sometimes we always talk about using your instincts. I look at it this way: if there's a property, like you said, a great deal comes along, you sleep on it. If it's still there the next morning, it was meant for you. Take it, you grab it.
Yeah.
Or maybe if it's gone the next morning, maybe it wasn't meant for you.
How many minutes we got?
We got about a minute.
Okay, so let's summarize this crazy little session.
Quick summary.
So, summarize.
That's our summarize music.
That's somebody calling me. It must be a good deal. Maybe I should get it.
Right.
Nah, screw it. I'm going to procrastinate.
There we go.
Okay, so summarize. Be patient.
Patience.
But don't hesitate to buy a good deal. Okay? Be patient, but don't hesitate to buy a good deal. Go slow when you first start out. Period. If it takes you 2 years to find your first deal, great. The second one will take you 1 year. The third one will take you 6 months. Get comfortable in it. Know your limitations. Stay within your box. Don't go too far and try to be all things to everybody. Focus. Use technology. Know how to use the technology you need to. You don't have to be a tech whiz. And have that plan in front of you at all times. And don't ever forget, what your ultimate goal is, which is financial freedom.
There we go.
Done.